A Father's Dream, Andy and his dad at home, April 2nd, 4 p.m. Hi, Dad, you're home early. What's to eat? I'm starved. Hello, Andrew. Is this the usual time you get home from school? Yeah, I guess, give or take a few. Why? Somehow I thought you got home after dark on most evenings. Well, I did during basketball season, but that's been over a couple of months now. So I just take the bus right after school and come on home. I see. How have you been doing in school? Are your grades any better? You want some of this ham sandwich? Sure is good. Where's the mustard? Andrew, I asked you a question. Huh? Oh, grades. No problem, Dad. I'm steady pulling them up. Is Monty home yet? The Teenage Warrior Space Soldier show is about to come on. Monty's with your mother. They went to the grocery store, I believe. But it's you I'm concerned about. Your report card came in today's mail. I'm dead meat. How can you possibly say your grades are improving? You failed English and chemistry. You just barely passed history and math. You even failed gym. How can you consider yourself an athlete if you can't even pass gym? I lost my gym shoes. You what? I lost my shoes. And the gym teacher takes off points if you're not dressed in proper gym clothes. But I found them. They were in Gerald's locker. Forget gym. What about English and chemistry? I talked to your English teacher a couple of months ago, and it seemed for a while there that you were improving. What happened? I don't know. She don't like me. That's a weak excuse, Andrew. She seemed genuinely concerned when she called me. That doesn't sound like someone who doesn't like you. Have you done all of your assignments in her class? Yeah, most of them. Well, some of them. What about tests? What about them? Don't play with me, boy. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. How do you usually do on her tests? I guess I fail most of them. Do you study for the tests? Sometimes. How can you say you want to go to college? What college is going to take you with grades like this? I never said I wanted to go to college. You were the one who said I wanted to go to college. What do you mean? We've been talking about college since you were a little boy. Getting a degree, maybe even in the field of business administration. That's your dream, Dad, not mine. Well, what about basketball? Didn't you want to go to college to play ball so you could get a chance at professional basketball? You've really improved your game this year. How would you know? You don't even come to one of my games this year. Not one. Well, you know how hectic my schedule is. Besides, I've seen you in the yard when you shoot hoops with your friends. I know you're good. Yeah, right. But back to the subject at hand. This absolutely reprehensible report card. Why you guys gotta use such big words? I know my report card stinks. Why can't you just say that? If you had a better vocabulary, perhaps you wouldn't be failing English. Why don't you just get off of my case? I'm not going to argue with you, Andrew, but I expect to see some major improvements in these last couple of months of school, or I shall have to take some more severe punitive measures. And there you go with them big words again. What else can you do to punish me? Take away my car? It's in pieces at Joe's Auto Graveyard. Take away my driver's license? Sorry, the cops beat you to that. Stop me from seeing my best friend? Well, he's in pieces at Spring Grove People Graveyard. I took care of that myself. I killed him, remember? So you can't hurt me. I deal with big-time hurt every day. Andrew, I know that accident was very traumatic for you, but you have got to get beyond it and move on. You have to be strong and show that you are bigger than the problem. Yeah, I know. You've told me that before. Be a man. Be strong. Put this unfortunate incident behind you. Well, maybe I can't do that. So, you're going to let it control your actions and ruin your life? No, Dad, I'm going to get it together. You'll see. My grades for the last quarter of school will be much better, I promise. That's my Andrew. I know you can do it, son. I'm counting on you. Don't let me down now, okay? Do it for me. Okay, Dad. Whatever you say. Hey, Dad, can I ask you a question? Sure, Andrew. How come you always call me Andrew? Mom, Monty, all my friends, even my teachers, they all call me Andy, but you never have. And I've never had the nerve to ask you why. Well, son, let me tell you. My father named me Ezekiel Jeremiah Jackson. 2 strong Bible names. He had great ambition for me. But that name turned out to be a detriment rather than an asset to me. When I was growing up, kids called me Zeke or even Easy, and I hated it. Ha! Easy Jackson, I love it. Well, I hated it. I wanted so much to be dignified and respectable and proper. Well, you sure got that. Quit interrupting. I'm trying to explain where I'm coming from. You see, I wanted to be white? No, not white, but accepted by them. And it was almost impossible to be taken seriously in the business world with a name like Ezekiel. I'd be sitting in a meeting of I'd be sitting in a meeting with a group of 5 or 6 of them, all of us in blue suits and serious ties. The meeting would go something like this. Bob, what do you think the strategy should be? Well, Tom, let's get a market sample. Bill, did you get the printouts of the data? Yes, and Ezekiel here did the sales analysis. And then there'd be this silence while they'd try not to giggle, and it just didn't work, and Zeke was worse. They all had a black handyman at home named Zeke. So I started calling myself EJ. They seemed to respect and accept that. Besides, all the presidents of all the big companies referred to themselves as TW or JB. They were used to that format at least. So that's why I'm known at work simply as EJ Jackson. I don't think there's anyone there who knows my real name except maybe the people in personnel. Is that why you're always so nice to BJ? Maybe. He seems like a nice fella, though. What's his real name? He said his mama won't even tell him, and he don't want to know. Well, I can understand where he's coming from. I wish you could understand where I'm coming from sometimes. What was that you said? You were mumbling. Nothing. Thanks for telling me that. I mean, I knew your name and all that, but you never told me why you never used it. But you still haven't explained to me why you always call me Andrew. When you were born, I wanted to give you something my father had tried, but failed to give me. A name to be proud of. I didn't want you to have to shorten it or lighten it in any way, so from the time you were little, I called you Andrew. I guess it was partly from pride and partly from this determination that I had to make you something really special. I ain't nothing special. Well, your grades don't show it, but you are. You should be in the top of your class, showing everybody, both black and white, that E.J. Jackson's son is somebody to be respected and admired. How come I gotta be E.J. Jackson's son? How come I can't just be plain old ordinary Andy Jackson? Because ordinary isn't good enough. Why not? Look, I went to college. Night school for 6 years. While I worked at various jobs during the day to make ends meet. I studied all the time. I carried a dictionary with me wherever I went so that I could improve my vocabulary. I was always conscious of improving myself, making myself better, making myself good enough, bright enough, proper enough, respectable enough. For what? For my coworkers. For myself. You think they care that you busted your butt to be acceptable to them. It's that desire to excel that I see lacking in you. Sometimes I think you just don't care. Sometimes you're right. How can you not care about your life, Andy? You seem to be doing a fine job of dreaming my dreams and planning my future. Maybe I don't want to be acceptable to white folks. But you must. That's the only way to make it in this world, to assimilate into the society in which we live. That's why you must pull up your grades and improve your attitude. That is the key to success. What if I can't? I'm not taking no for an answer. You will show substantial improvement. I will not accept anything less than maximum effort. No son of mine is going to be a failure. Do you hear me? Okay, Dad. Whatever you say. There's your mother's car in the driveway. Help her bring in the groceries. I hope she didn't get much. I'm not very hungry anymore.